Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest, and I mean biggest, decisions you can make as a homeowner, choosing a new roof. Now, if you get it right, you're golden for decades to come. But if you get it wrong, oh boy, you could be looking at a really expensive long-term headache. Today, we are going to break down all the common pitfalls so you can make the absolute smartest choice. So here's our game plan. We're going to start by really understanding why this is such a high-stakes decision in the first place. Then we'll go way beyond just how the roof looks and get into the nitty-gritty technical stuff that really matters. We'll even decipher all that legal jargon and codes and warranties, and we'll wrap it all up with a simple framework so you can put all these pieces together and make the perfect choice for your home. All right, first up, let's set the stage. A bad roofing choice isn't just about a pesky leak in the ceiling. Nope. It can actually impact your home's entire structure, its resale value, and, of course, your wallet. So let's jump right in and tackle the single biggest trap that homeowners fall into. So I've got a question for you. What do you think is the single most expensive mistake you can possibly make here? Is it, I don't know, picking the wrong color? Maybe choosing some trendy material that's a nightmare to install? Well, the real answer is actually a lot simpler and way more common than you probably think. And there you have it. The real cost of a roof is not the number on the initial quote. It's the total cost over its entire lifetime. That so-called bargain roof, it quickly becomes the most expensive one you could have picked when you find yourself paying to replace it 10 years sooner than you were supposed to. Of course, we all want a roof that looks fantastic. I mean, curb appeal is a real thing. But this is exactly where looks can be deceiving and, you guessed it, really costly. So let's talk about how to balance appearance with actual performance. You know, it's so easy to fall in love with a certain look, but if that beautiful material can't handle your local climate, whether that's heavy snow, high winds, or just blistering sun, it's just the wrong choice. The real goal, the smart choice, is always to find that sweet spot where great looks meet proven, tough-as-nails durability. And believe it or not, this idea applies to something as simple as color. A dark roof might look super sleek, but it's going to soak up a ton of solar heat, and that could mean your air conditioning is working overtime all summer. A lighter color, on the other hand, reflects that energy, but you might find yourself having to clean it more often. It's just a perfect little example of how looks and function are totally connected. Okay, now we're going beneath the surface. This is the stuff you don't see, the unsung heroes of your roof that truly protect your investment. You won't see them day to day, but trust me, they are absolutely critical to the long-term health of your entire home. Let's kick things off with a key component. It's a term your contractor is definitely going to use, and it's something you really need to understand. So what exactly is underlayment? Think of it like your home's hidden shield. If a shingle gets ripped off in a storm or a tile cracks, this is the layer that stops water from pouring right into your attic. And here's the crucial part. The type of underlayment you use has to be compatible with whatever roofing material you put on top of it. And that word right there, compatibility, it's everything. It's not just about the underlayment and the shingles getting along. When any two parts of your roofing system don't work well together, the results can be just disastrous, and failure can happen shockingly fast. Now, this is a perfect example, galvanic corrosion. It sounds really complex, but it's basically a simple chemistry experiment playing out on top of your house. If a contractor, say, uses copper flashing right next to a galvanized steel panel, all it takes is a little rainwater to create a tiny electrical circuit. And this circuit literally eats away at one of the metals, leading to total failure. Wild, right? Here's another technical detail you can't ignore. Pure, simple weight. Asphalt shingles, they're pretty light. But if you're dreaming of those gorgeous, heavy concrete or slate tiles, you have to know if your home's structure can actually handle that load. A lot of houses need extra reinforcement to support these heavier materials, and that can be a major hidden cost if you don't plan for it up front. All right, let's switch gears and talk about let's call it the paperwork side of things. The bureaucracy and the promises. We're talking about the rules you have to follow and the protection you should absolutely demand. Getting this part wrong can be just as costly as a material failure. Local building codes, they are completely non-negotiable. They exist for safety, and they dictate things like fire ratings and how well your roof needs to stand up to wind. Your contractor should be handling all the permits, but it is your job to make sure they actually do it. Messing this up can lead to fines, failed inspections, and even huge problems with insurance claims down the road. Now, this is a really critical distinction you need to know about warranties. A prorated warranty actually loses value every single year. But a non-prorated one, it offers full protection for the entire term. It's a much, much more valuable promise from the manufacturer, and you should always, always ask which type you're getting. And you have got to read that fine print. Does the warranty, for instance, require you to get annual inspections just to keep it valid? And here's a big one. Is it transferable? A transferable warranty can be a fantastic selling point if you ever decide to move, adding real value to your home. A new roof is not a one-and-done purchase. It's a long-term commitment. And just like any other major part of your house, it's going to need some upkeep. The truth is, every single material needs some kind of maintenance. Wood needs regular treatments, metal needs you to check on it every so often, and while slate and tile are super durable, just try finding a qualified roofer to repair one single broken tile. It can be a real challenge. These ongoing needs are a huge part of your roof's true cost. And this brings us right back to our main idea. You have to factor in those future costs. A material that has a higher price tag up front but needs minimal maintenance often turns out to be a much better value over the 20 or 30 years you'll have that roof. So, we've walked through all the biggest pitfalls, from the price traps to the technical gremlins. Let's pull all of this together into a clear, actionable framework you can use to guide your big decision. I want you to think of this slide as your personal cheat sheet. Seriously, when you're sitting down with contractors, just run through these points in your head. Ask them about material compatibility. Ask for the warranty details. Ask about long-term maintenance. Using this checklist, make sure you have covered all your bases. Remember, in this whole process, knowledge is your best tool. Do your own research, get at least 3 different quotes, and listen really carefully to how the contractors answer your questions. A good partner will explain the why behind their suggestions, not just pressure you into a quick sale. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. A roof can be a simple, annoying expense that you have to deal with every 15 years or so, or by avoiding all these pitfalls and making a really smart, informed choice, it can be a true, long-lasting, value-adding investment in your home. The choice is yours.